Bosses 13-3 here with another top shelf guest. Menomonie, Wisconsin native, former USHLer with Tri-City, Omaha and Lincoln, and current Michigan Tech Huskie, Blais Richartz. This episode is sponsored by Riverside Bike and Skate, Dooley's Pub, Raleigh's Coach Club, Williams Diamond Center, and Chippewa Valley Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, which has been committed to the healthcare needs of patients in western Wisconsin since 1954. The orthopedic surgeons and athletic trainers serve many area schools in the Chippewa Valley Mogi.
Well, Blais, thank you so much for taking time out of your hard-earned Christmas break to come over and talk with us today. We're looking forward to hearing your story.
Yep, thank you for sure having me on.
Well, let's start out with, born into an athletic family. Your dad played baseball, UW-Oshkosh, which is known for its baseball. What was childhood growing up? I mean, you got a brother who was athletic. You're athletic. What was that like in the house?
Yeah, growing up, it was just kind of sports all the time. From the moment we could start walking, we were kind of playing sports or messing around with sports. And then we obviously started I was playing sports first, obviously, before him. And then he came and started playing as well. And we kind of just looked up to our dad and followed in his footsteps to sports. And like at home, sports was always on TV. Always playing in the backyard, stuff like that. Training, I should say now, but at the time we thought it was not training, like shooting pucks or stick handling or messing around, stuff like that. Yeah, I guess. And then I just kind of childhood idols and hockey and stuff, and watching sports, you obviously start to love it. So,
did you and your brothers have any little altercations growing up?
Oh yeah, we've had quite a few. Whether it's playing NHL and getting mad at each other, playing against each other in NHL, or playing outside, like playing wiffle ball or something, you beam the other one because you're mad, or playing hockey. I mean, I don't know how many sticks of each other's we probably broke, slashing them in half and stuff outside. So, yeah, we've had quite a few.
So he's a baseball player. He plays at St. Thomas in St. Paul. Did he play some hockey too? It sounds like he did. And did you play some baseball too then?
Yes, he played hockey all the way up, and then he took his junior year off and then came back for his senior season, decided he was going to play, I think, like a couple weeks before the season started. I think he said he had one practice before the first game. So he did that. And then I played baseball my whole life up until I think I quit after my freshman year, but then I came back and played Legion the summer of my sophomore year for fun, and then I ended up moving. So then baseball was done.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
Your first name is Blais. You've got red hair. Any connection there?
No. I get to ask that question all the time. I was actually born bald, so they had no clue.
Is there red hair in your family at all? I mean,
yeah, my grandma had red hair, and then my uncle, I think, had red hair when he was younger, and then it turned kind of to brown now, and that's what mine's starting kind of to do. So,
okay, interesting though. Blais, right? Where did Blais come from? Is it a family name or?
No, it came from Dean Blais, the coach.
Oh,
yeah.
Was he with North Dakota, and he was with Mankato too?
Wasn't he? I believe, yeah. That's who it's from, though.
Okay.
Yep.
Wow, that's cool. Yeah. Is that a family connection, or your dad just liked them, or your mom liked them? Or?
They just thought the name was cool, so I think
it is a very cool name.
Yeah.
Have they had any regrets in naming you that?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, all right, just checking. When did you strap on the skates? When did you start to play hockey and skate?
I think I started skating with my dad at like just out on like a pond at 2 or 3. I don't know. And then I went in to learn to skate at 3, maybe 4. I don't know, whatever the youngest you can go into it is. And then obviously been playing ever since.
So was your dad a hockey guy too, or he just thought you guys might be interested in it?
No, my dad played hockey up through high school.
Okay.
And then he liked hockey, but he was better at baseball. So he played baseball in college. And I think we got to choose our sports, but didn't really get to choose our sports, I guess. We played baseball because he played baseball, hockey because he introduced us to it so young, and then we played football because I feel like everyone from this area plays football. But that's the only sports we really ever played. So,
nice.
Well, Menomonie was certainly known more for football program than for hockey program. But nonetheless, Menomonie's turned out some good players, such as yourself. What was that like playing in the Menomonie hockey organization?
It was good. I knew nothing different at that time. I played there from LTS up until obviously after my sophomore year of high school, and it was fun. I mean, you play all the teams in the area, and then you meet kids from around the area as well playing, and then you got the kids because at that time, like in elementary school in Menomonie, there's 3 or maybe 2 or 3 or different elementary schools. So then like everyone plays hockey together. So you can meet kids from the other schools, and like some of my good friends went to other schools, so I wouldn't see them ever, but then playing hockey, I get to see them every night. So that was a blast. And just, I mean, it's close to the rink's less than a mile from my house. So it's always nice to just be able to go over there whenever I want and practice and stuff. So
That's awesome.
So talking about kids that you grew up with and played with, help me if I'm getting this last name wrong, but the Keppel family, Mariah and Remington,
yep,
are still achieving at the college, and now Mariah at the professional level. Tell us about your relationship with those two.
Yeah, I grew up with Mariah was my age. She played with me all the way up until I think she left in 7th grade to go to Hillmurray. And Remington played with me as well, even though he was 2 years younger than me because we didn't have a goalie at my age.
Oh, wow.
So he would play up. So I think he ended up playing like 4 years of Pee-wees or something because we moved to Hudson. And so she could go to Hillmurray. He ended up going to Hillmurray as well, but they moved to Hudson. Well, they wouldn't let him keep going up and playing higher. So then he played Pee-wees for another year or two or something like that. But yeah, they were both on my teams growing up. And then like when you're younger playing like summer AAA, Mariah was always on my team. Remington was on the younger teams, but yeah. So I played with them for a long time.
Interesting.
Wow. You kind of lit it up playing in high school, and I hear this rumor that when you were, it must have been 8th grade freshman year, you were kind of heavy on the stick. You busted like 50 sticks that year?
No, I wasn't quite 50, but it was I was for sure north of 30. Yeah, freshman year.
Holy cow.
Yeah, good old 67 flexors.
Got a lot of nice whip out of it, though, didn't you?
Oh yeah.
How'd your parents feel about that in the budget?
They weren't, not too happy, but when at that age, I was like paying for some of my sticks at first. And then when I kind of ran out of money, then they'd pay for it because I work in the summer to make money to buy sticks. And then, that year I was running a little thin on money, so they had to help me out a little bit.
North of 30.
Yeah.
Holy mackerel.
Yeah.
Slap shots, just how did that happen? Just
Slap
got a
shots.
wicked wrister or snapper?
One-timers, slap shots, slashing people. All kinds of stuff.
Yeah, there you go.
Slashing his
Slashing
brother.
Yeah, all kinds of stuff.
Well, I got to tell you, you mentioned one-timers, and whether you remember this or not, I refereed a few of your high school hockey games. And you were on the power play, and I hated being a low man when you were doing your one-timers, because no offense, you missed the net more than you hit it.
Oh, yeah. Back then, for sure. Yeah, back then, for sure. I just shoot as hard as I could, and just hopefully it hit the net.
But when you did, you knew it was in.
Oh, yeah. If it hit where I was going, it'd probably go in, but there's quite a few that might have sailed a little bit, a little high and wide.
Incoming.
Yeah.
Did you ever have that shot clocked when you were a freshman, sophomore?
I had it clocked around that time, but I don't remember. I don't know if it was like a truly accurate clocking because it seemed a little high for that age for me.
Okay.
It was like high 80s, but I didn't know for sure. Like, because it was at a training place in Hudson it used to be Exceed, I think.
Okay.
It had like a radar gun, but I never knew if it was actually correct or not.
Well, let's go with yes.
All right.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Wow, 88 at that age.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
a heater. So, doing our research, we noticed that you played TW and Menomonie High School as a sophomore, and you scored 47 points on 24 goals and 23 assists. So was high school just too easy for you? I mean, I don't want you to sound, for a sophomore, that's a heck of a year.
Yeah. I felt Team Wisconsin helped me a lot with high school because obviously you go play again. I did it freshman and sophomore year.
Okay.
You go play AAA teams the whole fall, and then you come back and you go right into high school. Like, I think you play the week before practice starts for Team Wisconsin. So then you already have, 2 months or whatever it is, jump on pretty much everybody else.
Yeah.
And you're playing against higher competition already at that age. So I think that helped me a lot. And, well, I just was fortunate that I could kind of be the go-to guy for our team at a young age, I guess, in Menomonie. And it worked out for me, I guess.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it was too easy, but I had some success.
Yeah, definitely.
That's for sure. Looking back on those short 2 years, you were in the Big Rivers Conference, which is a well-known conference in the state of Wisconsin. As you look back at those 2 years, what team did you get up most hyped about, when you were going to go into their barn or they were coming in years to play?
I would say probably Eau Claire Memorial, even though we never really fared too well against them. We tied them once, but just because I had so many friends and like people that I played with in Team Wisconsin on Memorial. So I always obviously wanted to beat them, but it never actually happened. But
speaking of Memorial, we had Brendan Olson over here yesterday, and he talked about you and spoke very highly of you as your character and your playing. So that's pretty cool.
Brendan's one of my good buddies.
Yeah.
I've skated with him, played with him, trained with him. I mean, pretty much somewhat grew up with him, but not grew up with him at the same time. Like we played all levels together and stuff. So. And we still talk all the time now. And
so how is it playing against him now in the CCHA? Is that interesting?
I mean, yeah, I like it. I don't know. I like knowing guys on the other team a little bit. It kind of creates a little bit more competition. Plus, it's like the banter with each other off the ice, kind of, you know what I mean? Like, we beat you guys type of thing, which is fun.
Yeah, good chirps here and there.
Yeah, once in a while.
What's your favorite chirp line?
It's not probably allowed to be said. I don't know. I just kind of, whatever I can get on someone, I just say it. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a line that you've heard that you just kind of got a chuckle at because, it might have been a chirp, but at the same time it was funny?
I don't know. I can't really think. Just kind of chirping about everything. Sometimes I get my style chirp for having a white stick or wearing a bubble. I get chirp for that. Stuff like that I think's funny because it's it's not really a chirp, but it is a chirp at the same time. So sometimes it's just funny, but I think sometimes chirping, some chirps are so dumb actually that they're funny. They say it and you're just you just start laughing. You're just I can't believe you just did that. I guess, I don't know. And it's one of those where you kind of in front of, I've been playing a lot of center this year, but playing left wing, sometimes you're in front of their bench and they'll say stuff and you just kind of turn around and look and just be wow.
That dude's in college.
They'll go to places, all right? So, It's pretty funny, though.
All right, speaking about going places, so after your sophomore year, you left Menomonie and you went to the AAA Victory Honda program in Michigan. So how did that come about?
Yeah, I did do that. When I was playing Team Wisconsin, their coaches watched me, and they wanted me to actually leave high school my sophomore year and come to their team around Christmas time, and I decided not to do that, obviously. And then I ended up going out there for a spring tournament after that sophomore year, because they were doing they already had tryouts, but they had a summer tournament, spring tournament to have me come play and just to see if because I had some connections out there too, I knew some other guys and stuff. So they had me come out and see if I liked it and wanted to play there. And I think we did pretty good in the tournament. So then I was could be a good option. And then I ended up ultimately taking it and leaving high school, which it was kind of between that or possibly playing in the NAL that year or going back to Team Wisconsin and playing in Menomonie. And I was just well, I think that's probably got the best chance for me to for scouts and colleges and stuff like that. And just overall, the NAL is better, but playing against other high-end teams all the time in AAA rather than taking the step back a little bit to play high school.
So was that the goal all along to get that D1 scholarship?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Once I realized I was probably capable of getting one, that's when I was all right, yeah, 100% going for it.
Good for you.
What was that difference in play level going from high school to that AAA team?
It's just a lot more I don't know. I would say it's probably a little bit higher skill level. Everyone's the same age, so you don't have I wouldn't be as a junior going against a freshman, that type of stuff. And out in Michigan, it's very physical. There's fights in some of those games, even though it's obviously not allowed, but I just felt like the competition was higher, and it was just like a better preparation for playing at a higher level later on. I felt like that would prepare me better to play junior than playing high school.
Okay.
So billet family over there?
Yeah, I lived with one of my teammates. Yeah.
How was that? I mean, you're a young guy, young teenager.
It was good. It was definitely a little bit of an adjustment. My billets there were great. They treated me like pretty much their own kid. Like I was just their third kid.
Nice.
That lived at the house, so it was nice. I mean, the only thing that was a little bit different was they both went to private school, and I went to the public school by myself. So I was the new kid at school, didn't know anyone. Took me a while to get acclimated that way, but it ended up working out good. Yeah.
Good.
Any regrets taking that path?
No regrets at all. I mean, it ended up getting me to the level I'm at now, so I don't regret anything doing it.
Were you drafted by the USHL?
Yeah.
And how did that turn? At what age was that? And who was your first draft? What team?
I was drafted my sophomore year, I believe. Yeah, sophomore year. And then I ended up going to Tri-City in the Phase 2 draft of my Phase 1 year.
Okay.
Yep.
And now you've got to change now. You're going from AAA to the USHL. Was that a jump as well?
Yeah, I mean, because I went to camp, obviously, over the summer before I went to Victory Honda. Like, you go to camp once you get drafted and stuff. So I went to camp and kind of experienced it a little bit. And then when I went to Victory Honda that fall, I played a couple games in the NAL because I tendered then for the next year in the NA. And then I played 4 games. Like, I played 2 in the showcase and then 2 around Thanksgiving. So I played some junior hockey a little bit, and then I got called up to the USHL for a weekend in the second half of the year. Then I went back, and then I got called up the rest of the season. But yeah, it was definitely a little bit of a big jump from that to that. But I think it helped playing there rather than going from like high school to playing there.
How much time do you think it took you to figure it out? I mean, probably the first game or two was like, holy crap, I'm here.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of knew for the NAL how it was going to be because that team, I like was skating with them and stuff, like practicing, and like I would skate like before I'd go like to AAA and stuff. I was practicing with them or like went to their tryout camps and stuff. So I kind of somewhat knew, but then once you actually get there, it's kind of like, oh, all right. Yeah, like
I'm here.
A moment, yeah. And then like when I went to the USHL, like the first game, I was just like, holy, like Ely, it's my first or second game. Like our best player at that time come down on the power play, throws like a cross-ice sauce, and Ely Tolman and just like skating the opposite way. So he's skating this, like our guy's skating up, and Tolman is skating the other way and just like sticks it out, knocks it out of midair, and just comes down and rips it bar down from the top of the circles. I'm like, okay, that's how this league is. All right.
Holy cow.
And now he's in the NHL, so that pans out, I guess.
There you go.
Wow. Welcome, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like, wow. Well, in my first game, too, like, all of a sudden, like, something's going on, it plays up the ice. All of a sudden, I turn around, 2 guys are just beating the crap out of each other, just, like, throwing knucks. It's like a huge fight, and I'm just like, oh. All right, no, this is what it's actually like. And they gave me a visor, even though I wasn't technically supposed to have one as a affiliate because he thought I was older than I was. So I was wearing a visor, and I'm like, oh, geez. My first game, yeah. First shift, I got hit in the nose. Not like bad.
Welcome to the league.
Not bad. It was just like I was in front of the net, and kind of like a guy like turned and elbowed me, and I was like, oh, Jesus. All right. Well, I don't got a cage on anymore, obviously. I was like, oh, this is how junior hockey is. And then the fight, and then I was just like, all right.
But you stood up to it.
Yeah, it was fun. I loved it. I loved playing juniors. It's a great time, and it's one of the best places to play, I think.
Did you keep all your chiclets?
They're all in my mouth, yes. But I did get them knocked back a little bit. They're held in by a wire right now. I mean, they're probably solidified again now. But
what happened there?
It was my first year, and I was in front of the net, and someone shot, and I think I went to tip it. And their guy tried to pick my stick and missed, just hit me straight, like right here, right in the bottom lip. And
ouch!
I just felt on my 4 bottom teeth were just lying on my tongue.
Oh.
I was like, oh. And then I went back to the bench, and I was just like, tried to like spit out the blood, and my teeth went forwards, and I'm like, oh, this isn't good. And my coach is yelling at me not to spit out blood because like they didn't call a penalty. There wasn't a high stick. So he's like trying to draw a penalty, and there's just blood everywhere, and it's kind of gross.
Oh man!
So he was worried more about the penalty than about your chiclets.
Yeah, he was yelling at us. He's like telling me to stand on the board, instead of seeing the trainer, trying to get to see this. They could see the blood. But yeah.
All right, so let's talk about this for a second. D1, no fighting, full cage, juniors fighting with a shield. Talk to us about the fighting part of the game.
I never actually did get into a fight. I regret that. But I think fighting is a good way to, well, it's actual hockey. I mean, you look at all pro teams can fight. It's also a way to police the game. I feel like you don't got guys running around. I mean, with cages on, you kind of can do whatever you want. Like you can stick guys, you can hit guys cheap and not really have to. I mean, you might get roughed up or someone might tackle you, but like you're not getting, or someone might try to blow you up, but like you're not getting like the natural policing of the game. I feel like it's not there. And if someone gets blown up or something, or you cheap shot someone, like someone should be able to fight you, I think, in my opinion. And I think that's a great thing in junior. Like in junior, do guys get hurt? Yes. But like, I feel like there's less cheap shots, especially when there's like a fighter kind of guy on a team. Cause you're like, well, I'm going to have to answer the bell to that no matter what. If I even somewhat make like a dirty hit or something like that. Where in college, like it's, there's a lot more suspensions in college, but I feel like there's not a natural policing besides the refs, which I like having that ability to like, where you like, all right, well, kind of need to watch my stick more or like stuff like that. And the visor, I think visor's a way better style one. And then I just think it's like pro. I don't know. I don't like going visor back to cage. And then if you were to go pro, back to visor. But I kind of understand why schools, like why
Sure.
it's required in college. But
Did you mention that you use a bubble versus a cage? Okay,
use
any
bubble.
reasoning for that?
I wore a cage growing up my whole life. And then I wore a cage my first 3 years. And this year I was like, oh, it's my senior year. I'll wear a bubble. I wore it a little bit when I was young, but then all the rinks here, like they fog up so bad. So I kind of just stayed away from them. And then I switched to one. I was just messing around and had one on my, like our old helmets, like our white ones that we used to have. And I wore it all summer and I'm like, I kind of like this. So I just went back to it. Decided to wear one this year.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. And it's just the clear versus the bars. I mean, it's not, you get used to both, but I like it better.
Okay.
We're going to give a quick shout out to a couple of our sponsors. Dooley's Pub has been Eau Claire's home for hockey and all sports fans since 2005. Dooley's Pub is a proud booster of the University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire and local high schools. Dooley's is located on historic Water Street, providing excellent food and service, and has all of your favorite sports televised at all times. And we've got Raleigh's Coach Club in Altoona, Wisconsin, located across the street from Altoona Ice Center on Spooner Avenue, which has been a staple in the Altoona community for decades, providing support and sponsorship for youth and adult sports. Raleigh's has your favorite beverage ready and your favorite team on the screen. Mogi.
So, Blais, you moved around a little bit in the USHL. You spent time with Tri-City, the Storm, Omaha Lancers, and the Lincoln Stars. Which one was your favorite spot?
Yeah, I did. I spent time in all three of those places. I played, I think, 90 games for Tri-City, and then Omaha, and then Lincoln was my last one. I only played like 7 games for Lincoln, but I would say Omaha was probably my favorite. The rink was a little bit smaller than I think Tri-City's was, but the fans were always great. It was always bumping in there. The facilities there are really nice, and we got treated like amazing, like on the road, steak dinners, that kind of stuff. Like we were eating like appetizers, steak dinner, or going out for steak dinners, and then like getting desserts. And after games, like if it's a bus trip, you're getting 2 meals pretty much. Like they treated us unbelievable, and we go day early or like earlier than normal, stuff like that. And yeah, I don't know. I thought that was the best. And then we had 2 rinks too. So like if there was ever anything going on, we just practiced on the other rink, and we kind of had access to go whenever we wanted.
Nice.
And I just felt like that was probably, and then we had like an extra, we had a trainer that was not actually at the rink, like a weightlifting trainer. So we'd go to a gym kind of sucked. It was at like 6:30 in the morning, but it was nice to have like that too. So like we actually had like real workouts and stuff. But yeah,
almost like being at a D1 college.
Yeah, it actually was. I feel like that was probably the one that not prepared me the most, but was like the most similar to what it's like at a college, I would say.
Speaking of colleges, when did university start calling?
I talked to my first schools that year. I went to Victory Honda. Yep.
Okay, so you were going into your junior year then.
Yeah.
And can we ask, tell us what schools were looking at you?
Well, not all the ones that I talked to offer me, but I ended up with offers from Michigan Tech, Northern Michigan, UMass, RPI, and then Air Force, but I don't think they call it an offer because they don't they actually give you a scholarship because you get paid to go to Air Force or whatever that deal is.
Yeah.
But those are like my main ones at the end. Or when I decided to finally commit, I guess.
Any regrets?
No.
Pretty happy with your choice at Tech?
Yeah, it's close to home. My parents can come watch whenever I'm playing, which is nice. Like they just literally just take a half day, drive up there. It's a great town. I mean, it's small. It's Menomonie's honestly bigger, but It's like a fun college town. Team's really close. Fans are second to none there. We just renovated the locker room. It's probably a top 15, if not higher, locker room / facilities in college hockey now. I think it's a great place.
We were actually up there 2 summers ago to interview Blake Petola, and Coach Sean took us through the locker room. Was just about done, like $1 million renovation or something. He was telling us.
Oh yeah, and it for $1 million. I mean, it felt like they made $1 million go a long way because nowadays, like you hear some facilities are like, yeah, this is $10 million, and it's like wow. But like for us, like they renovated the whole weight room. We have a golf simulator now. The shooting room, like the locker room is just a lot more clean looking. Some cool lights and stuff like that, and then the training room with the hot cold tubs. Like I just think they made it more of a professional type setting, and also like it's definitely going to be a draw for more kids to want to go there.
Yeah, that's a big recruiting tool, like you say. You know, that's you spend so much time, off the ice too, and you want a cool place where you want to hang out with your buddies, right? You got a nice players lounge, and when you have all those other amenities, it keeps you there, it keeps you together. I think that keeps your team a little more cohesive unit.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like on pretty much every Sunday, guys would go in there and turn on Red Zone on the TV, watching the NFL, and hang out in the chairs or just sit in the tubs and watch. And there's probably usually throughout the day, I bet almost over half the team probably comes in. But you just go in there and guys will come in and out and just hang out and kind of all be together watching football while doing your rehab or your recovery and stuff like that, which is really nice.
Yeah, very nice.
What was the deciding factor on choosing Tech?
Some of those reasons I just said, closer to home. Like my parents obviously sacrificed a lot for me growing up and stuff. So I thought well, if they're able to watch me pretty much whenever they want in person, it being home or close to home, that'd be nice. I mean, it's only 5 hours. It's one of the closest colleges, Division I, to where I live, obviously. And I was I've been 9 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours away from home now the last 4 years. I was kind of I'd rather not have them to have a plane ride to come see me play. And I'm a big outdoors guy, so I like the area up there and stuff like that. So
what's that like stepping on the ice, the John McGinnis Ice Arena up there when, you're out on the ice warming up and then your name's called? What's that feeling? Yeah,
it's unbelievable. I mean, we actually have sometimes the barn almost looks like it's sold out during warm-ups. And you usually don't see that where that many people get there that early, but we played Northern right before break, and I don't know if you could really fit. The student section was the whole side. It was packed. It's the loudest I've ever heard that rink. It was one of the coolest things. But yeah, the crowd there is second to none, and when they get the atmosphere going, scoring at home, so cool, and just everyone loves it and goes nuts, and the atmosphere in there is second to none. I don't know. It's cool, I guess. Yeah.
Very cool. So I just want to talk one more thing about your junior career. You mentioned Lincoln was your shortest stint, 7 games. Were you injured that season? What happened there?
Yeah, I blew out my wrist. I had a lunate dislocate, so like a bone popped out of place and tore all the ligaments in my wrist.
Oh,
And then,
son of a gun.
Yeah, so then I was out I was actually going to come back. I don't know why or how, but I was going to play like COVID. That was the COVID year that COVID canceled the second half of the season or whatever.
Yeah.
I was going to play not the weekend, but the weekend after they were predicting me to play, even though I couldn't like move my hand. I don't know why, but junior hockey, I guess. They're going to have me.
Here, you're a young guy, right?
Yeah.
Indestructible.
That was, so I started in Omaha and then got traded to Lincoln and then got hurt like 6 games in and was just done for the season. Yeah. And then the rehab, like I wasn't feeling probably 100% until like halfway through my freshman year. I would say I could play, but it would just be like really sore or like just would get tired over time kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it still does, but it's a lot better now.
Nice.
Oh, that's good. Good, because you don't want to be on the ice with an injured wrist, especially if somebody knows it and they're going to hack the hell out of you, right?
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah, they try to target it. Yeah.
We had one of our original T-Boss guests was a guy by the name of Darcy Way who played goalie at Tech years ago under John McGinnis. And he talked about his recruiting trip up to Michigan Tech where he got the opportunity to have breakfast, which was a paper plate, a couple of eggs. Coach McGinnis came by and said, "Hey, I'd like you to play for me." And that was the recruiting trip. Give us a little insight of what the recruiting trip is like now.
Yeah. Well, I think there's kind of a couple different recruiting trips you could have now. Like obviously in junior, I was still playing. So I flew in on a Sunday and then Sunday night. And then like Monday, I got picked up by the assistant coach at the airport, dropped off. My dad ended up coming on the visit. He came by, picked us up from the hotel. We went to breakfast. And I think it was just with him for breakfast. Yeah. And then we ended up after that going to the rink, meeting with Coach Sean and at that time the other assistant. And we talked a little bit, kind of whatever. Just then he like showed me around the rink, around the locker room and stuff. And then we went and got lunch. And then Brooksy was going to show me the school. We went into the academic office building. He said it was a classroom. Gave me a turnaround. He's like, "You're gonna be in business, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." He gives me a business pamphlet off the wall and just goes, "All right, you want to go back to the rink and watch practice?" So then we went back to the rink, watched practice, and then I talked to Coach Sean afterwards, and that's like when he like discussed scholarships and stuff. And then I went to the dining hall with a couple of the upperclassmen. Or no, freshmen, actually. They were my upperclassmen when I got there. Freshmen. And went back to their dorms to see like what their freshman dorms are like. And then I ended up going out to dinner with the coaching staff. And then that was my trip. Well, then I tried to leave the next day and flight was canceled. So I had to drive back with my dad.
Oh.
Yeah, and then hop on a plane in Minneapolis. Had to catch my connecting flight in Minneapolis rather than taking the one out of Houghton. So,
wow. Okay.
So
right.
Was it weather-related cancellation?
Oh, yeah.
So
always is.
obviously well noted for their epic snowfalls. JC's actually from the UP. Yeah. And we were up there a couple summers ago, and I noticed that the street signs were way above a normal street sign that, around here. And I asked him about that. He goes, "Well, when you get 200, 300 inches of snow every year, it's good to know where you're going." So some epic ones since you've been there?
We get like the 200 to 300 a year. It doesn't seem like that though, really, because it's just, there's sometimes where it just doesn't stop snowing for like 4 days. And it's not like it's snowing a ton. It's just snowing for 4 days straight. But like then there will be times where you'll get like my sophomore year, I think there was one where we got like 12 inches one day and like 18 the next or something like that. But it was like one of those where it just didn't stop and stuff. But like we'd never had a snow day from school, never had a too cold day. Like Northern gets days off all the time for stuff, and we never get days off for snow or weather. And I'm like, that kind of sucks. But I wouldn't say like anything like out of the ordinary for snow. It's just like doesn't stop. This year though, it's weird. There's like barely any snow.
Okay.
So, like, it hasn't. I mean, it's been too warm, but I'm sure that'll hit like a brick wall when we get back. It'll probably be a snowstorm for the whole month or something. I don't know. But, yeah.
Let's talk about your teammates. There's a whole family of Petalas on the team?
Yeah,
I think the whole town moved up there.
We got 4 Pietelas on the team, and then our trainer's another Pietela, and our team, like chiropractors, another Pietela. So
All related?
Yeah, I think. I know the ones that are actually on our team. The 3 are brothers, and then there's their cousin. Okay. And then I think the one that's the cousin is cousins with the one that's our trainer, and then it's actually his older brother who's our chiropractor. So like our trainer's older brother. It's like the team chiropractor comes in like once a week. But it's a lot of Pietelas on the team.
Are there nicknames then, so you can kind of keep them straight, like Huey, Dewey, and Louie, or what?
I mean, we just kind of call them by their names. Like there's Logan Pietela, we call him LP, and then there's Blake, we just call him Blake. Chase, and then Jed, we just call him like Jedder, or Chaz for Chase. The only 2 that really are confusing is Blake and Logan, just because they look pretty much identical. But,
yeah, they're twins, right?
Yeah.
But one's a forward, one's a goalie. So when they're out on the ice, you probably could figure it out pretty good, huh?
One wears 13, and the other one wears 31, so they're flip-flop.
Oh, no kidding! Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Those 2.
So you got a nickname on the team?
Call me Blazer or Taser. I don't know.
Okay.
Just kind of something they came up with.
Well, as you progress through the ranks, from youth up through college, you have the different personalities of coaches and different dynamics. You're playing at Michigan Tech. Coach Sean has established a pretty damn good program up there. What are some of the things that he expects out of a player at Tech?
He expects, one, obviously work ethic and like compete. I feel like that's a given, but it's probably one of the most important things. Like he cares more about, obviously, if you mess up a little bit, but as long as you're like competing or working to get back, stuff like that, that's important. And then structure, like he's pretty big on like systems and structure, I would say, and like being in position, because that's like what helps our team have success a lot of times. And then, I mean, obviously, you guys have probably watched us a little bit. Like we kind of pride ourselves on defense. We're not always in the highest scoring games, so I'd say defense is a big thing we work on, and we just kind of work on all aspects of the game, like, but doing it correctly. I would say, like every day, like if you mess up, like you're gonna get told you messed up, and you're gonna get shown like we want you to do this instead, and stuff. So I think that is a good thing. And I mean, he's had a pretty good record, I would say. I mean, we've been to the national tournament my last 2 years, so it's working.
Yeah, absolutely.
Something's to be said about that. Yeah. As you go through these practices, give us a little bit of insight, or listeners' insight. What does a practice look like?
Our practices, well, we kind of have, I mean, now they're going to be different. Obviously, it's getting later in the year. In the beginning of the year, like before season, they're longer. They're like an hour and a half usually. Now, like in season, they're about an hour and 10. I mean, they obviously wean off a little bit towards the end of the week. Beginning of the week depends on kind of how we played the weekend before for how Monday's going to go. There's some days where
things don't change.
There's some days where Monday's like somewhat optional, or like kind of like a skill day with their assistants. And then there's some days where Monday's battle day and you're doing battles for the whole time. But a normal practice, I would say, is like you get out there, do a couple laps, then we do a couple warm-up drills. And then we go into like some, like I would say systematic, but all our drills are not like straight systems. It'd be like different aspects of the game, I guess. And we kind of do some like game simulation type drills. And then we mix in like, sometimes we'll like mix in like a 2-on-1 drill, or like line rushes, stuff like that, like 3-on-2s, stuff like that. And then obviously like might do the D zone. It kind of depends. Like one day is usually like more up and down the sheets. That's the day we're probably going to do more line rushes. And then like Wednesday, Thursday, it's more like D-zone, technical stuff like that, like just to get ready for the weekend. And then we sometimes like play quite a few small area games, like compete ones. And then once in a while at the end, we'll get like Thursday or Wednesday after practice, pretty much we get like a fun small area game to play, like bubble hockey or power play game, stuff like that, to have a little bit of fun. But yeah, I would say practice is just got to be dialed in, because they're not that long, but they're usually pretty intense.
You're not sitting around. I mean, he's got you up tempo the whole time, I'm assuming. Like,
yeah, for the most part. I mean, some of those like technical drills, like where you're working on like D-zone or stuff like that, like there's quite a few whistles once in a while, like trying to like fix and stuff like that. But usually, yeah, there's 2-3 lines maybe, and the drills are, I mean, you're going and just like next guy, he blows the whistle, next line goes, and you just do it for like however long, 5-10 minutes straight. sometimes if we're not doing so well, 15 minutes straight, like just kind of like that. I mean, yeah, they're pretty up-paced practices, I would say. We don't do a whole lot of like bag skating, which I love, because I think bag skates are kind of dumb, in my opinion. Like, I think they ruin your hips and stuff like that, where I'd rather have a practice that's like up-pace and moving, where it's like more game simulation, because when in a game, you're just going to start skating down and back.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
So I like having that kind of practice where it's like up-pace the whole time and actually like functional conditioning-wise more than just straight get on the boards or get on the goal line type stuff and like the old school stuff. So I like that aspect.
Oh,
all right. Couple more sponsors to shout out here, JC. Riverside Bike and Skate, Eau Claire's hockey headquarters, which is the oldest hockey store in the state of Wisconsin. Buy hockey gear from the people that play and know the game. And don't forget about their bicycle sales and service, as well as your paddle sports center for kayaks and canoes. And Williams Diamond Center is a fun and friendly place to find your next sparkling signature piece. Whether you're looking for a custom designed engagement ring, an anniversary gift, or a self-purchase to celebrate yourself, Williams has price points for every story and every budget. Buyers and sellers of estate jewelry, coins, and more.
Who would you consider your biggest rival in the CCHA?
Northern Michigan, without a doubt.
And what's that battle? Is that like a Eau Claire Memorial Menomonie battle, or is it more epic than that?
It's probably way more epic than that. I mean, I would say it's probably one of the best rivalries in college hockey.
Awesome.
Like, the schools, like, low-key hate each other, I would say. And, like, the fans show out both places, like... I've watched other games, like Northern games on TV, or you see like pictures and videos and stuff. There's never really anyone at their rink. And then when we come, it's like sold out. I mean, granted, half the fans are ours, but like only being an hour and a half away, like there's the fan base on both sides just are like packed. I mean, there's like when we play at home, even it was probably like 70% Tech fans, 30% Northern fans, I'd say maybe 35.
Wow.
Like it's only an hour and a half. So I know all the students get rowdy and it's great. And then the two teams hate each other, obviously. Like, and no matter what, like whatever the records are, no matter what, like one team could be, let's say, really high ranked and the other one could be lower. But like no matter what, it's always going to be a battle against Northern, just because the intensity and the extra energy in that game is unbelievable.
So they just did some renovations to their arena. Have you guys played up there since they made the renovations? That they shrank the rink down a bit, didn't they?
Yeah, but I think they maybe shrunk it by 2-3 feet around the whole thing. Like it's still
not a big deal.
It still feels like an ocean out there. Like it still feels like it's
corners,
huge.
huh?
Yeah, we struggled there the other night. Yeah, it still feels like it's a little bit bigger than most.
Okay,
for sure. Yeah, but it is nice they shrunk it up a little bit because. Before there's a lot of skating out there.
Even he's complaining at a young age. Wait till he's be our age.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Okay. When you were being recruited, we're going to go back a little bit. What did you bring to the game, or what were coaches looking at you that you brought to the game that they wanted to recruit you?
I would say like a fast, physical type forward. Can shoot the puck pretty well. Just like compete, grind, forecheck type guy, with somewhat of a scoring touch. Like I would say like smart defensively, like pretty much a two-way forward, I would say.
Well, you mentioned forechecking. If you're going into the corner with a defenseman, what D has been the biggest pain in your ass during D1 hockey?
Well, this year I could say probably a couple D from Bemidji. I think his name's Kyle Luft, and the other one Eric Polkamp. Those two, they're both big guys, and they're not afraid to throw around the weight a little bit. Yeah, I don't. Last year, like Mankato had like Livingstone, and some of those guys, they're unbelievable. And I mean, each year there's, I'd say, like new guy or new two guys or something that are just like they either elevate their game or come in as a freshman, and they're pretty tough to play against, I would say.
And then how about on your team? Is there a D when you're doing corner battles that you go, oh shit, I got to go in the corner with him?
Yeah, I mean, in the past, I would say like last year, like Brett Thorne, he's a big kid. he's really hard to play against. And too, like if you beat him, you're getting hacked, or he's not going to let you by pretty. This year, honestly, like going in, like we do one-on-ones and stuff. Going in the corner, he's a forward actually, but he's a center, so he plays a lot in the D zone. Arvid Kaderoth, he's actually my roommate, but he's like 6'5", 220, just an absolute unit out there. Like and if he gets near you, like you can't. Like he's just so big and so lanky. Like he takes up the whole corner. Like you can't get out of there. But yeah, and then another guy, like he's a forward as well, but like Jack Works down low, like you can't stop him. Like I'm saying, like if I'm playing defense, like this guy is so slippery, like somehow he just twists and turns and all of a sudden he's skating out of the corner with the puck. There could be 2-3 guys down there and he'll get out of it every time. I don't know how, but he does it. He's a slippery guy, but that's one guy I hate to try to play defense against in the D zone. But then like when I'm offensive, I say like Kaderoth this year, and then Chase Pietila, just because he kind of is he goes in, he's not afraid to throw his body around as a freshman and hack you and whack you and pretty much do whatever it takes to not let you out of that corner.
All right.
That's good. That'll make you better.
Yeah. So, I would say those guys for sure come to mind.
So, Blais, you've been around hockey forever, been in a lot of locker rooms with a lot of different teams. Has there been one particular guy that was just a really good jokester, or have you ever seen a really good prank played on a guy?
I would say some of the guys that are on our team now, like, not necessarily like all like hockey pranks, but just some like jokes they say and stuff. Like the twins are hilarious. They're two of the funniest guys I've ever met. And they play like, sometimes they'll play some pranks at school where, I mean, obviously you got like the water cup underneath the cage. So when they pull their helmet off, it falls on them or whatever. Or like the best ones we get now is like, because obviously when we put our helmets in like our stalls, like the cage is facing in, so the helmet's out, or like the back of the helmet's out. They'll like tape, like in youth hockey, you know, you like tape your name on the front of your helmet, and they'll like put it on for guys, like some guys for practice, and they never notice it, and everyone's just laughing, and they're like this year it happened to a freshman. He's actually like, I think he's leading our team in goals, but they like put it on there like Gordo on his helmet. So he's out there skating around all practice with Gordo taped on his helmet. Everyone's just laughing at him. Like the coaches are laughing, and they'll be like, "Hey, Gordo!" Like they'll like call him by his nickname and like stuff, and he never realized it until after practice. It was like, and I think it was on the road too. We were like in another team's rink when he did it. But yeah, it was so funny. I think we were in Duluth when he did it. It was hilarious. Yeah, he just had no clue. But like, and it's like one of those things where it's like subtle and it's you don't really realize it, but it's actually hilarious. And they did it to like our trainer will come out on the ice and like push pucks around kind of for practice. They wrote his name on the back of his like sweat coat, like his sweatsuit that he wears on the ice. So it just said his name in like giant letters across the back of his shirt. Stuff like that I think is hilarious.
Good pranks, you know,
Absolutely,
harmless pranks.
Yep.
Or
Nobody
you
gets
snip
hurt.
the laces a little bit, so when they pull them, they snap off. Stuff like that. Yeah.
Is there any payback, or not payback, but let's assume, you know, coach calls practice at 2:00 and you're the last guy in the locker room, and at 1:55 you're getting your skates on and you snap that lace and you go, oh crap. And you're on the ice at 2:05. Is coach going to make you do lines?
No, I mean, most of the time, like, coach is pretty good, like, because at school, like, there's class that, like, gets out. I think that I had one last year that I got out, like, I had to be on the ice within 30 minutes of class being done. And then by the time you get to the rink, like, you got, like, 15 minutes to get dressed and stuff. So, like, he's pretty good. Like, he knows, like, that there might be guys that are a little bit late. I wouldn't say late, but, like, he'll just go out there and, like, if you come out a couple minutes late, he usually doesn't care. Because, like, right away you're just doing, like, flow drills or maybe, like, a couple of hot laps or stuff like that. And then
okay,
he usually, like, walks through the locker room to go out to the ice. So if there's a guy and they're, like, buzzing, trying to get dressed quick, like, he'll usually stand there and talk to him and just come out, like, a minute or two late himself. So he usually waits to start practice. Unless it's, like, absurdly late. Then he's just, like, whatever, and just starts, and then the guy just comes out. Okay. But, yeah, you don't really – I mean, most people are on time, but – If you know you got like 5 minutes, you never do that type of trick to that guy who's coming late from class or something like that. If you're one of the guys that are there like really early, so they don't expect it. But yeah.
So do you guys have an award for player of the game that you bestow?
Yeah, we do. We actually have two. I don't know what the difference really is between the two of them. But we give out the game puck, which I think is just like whoever like. Usually Blake gets it just because like he is unbelievable. But we have a hard hat, So it's kind of like the guy, like that's usually like hard worker type of thing, or like guy that like jump starts a team, like could be like the first goal scorer gets it or stuff like that. But we give out the hard hat and then the game puck. I don't know what the difference really is, but it's just kind of two awards, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're going to school for finance.
Yep.
How did you choose that? And you have been on the all academic team for what, your whole 4 years up there? So how do you balance school? How do you balance, playing hockey and keep your studies up and all that sort of stuff?
Yeah, I am a finance major. I knew I was going into business right when I got there. I didn't know what like branch of business I was going to do. But then like as I took a finance class, like intro to finance my freshman year, and there was a couple of the upperclassmen that were taking it, and they were all like already like going to take finance. So I was like, oh, and they're like, it's not that, like, then there was a couple other older ones, like seniors that took finance, and they're like, yeah, it's pretty, like, it's not terribly hard. Like, it's difficult, more difficult than some of the other business fields, but it's one of those things where money's always going to be around. So I figured, like, no matter what, if you have a finance degree, like, you probably get a job no matter what afterwards. So I was like, yeah, and I kind of find it interesting, and it was just mainly a lot of the older upperclassmen were taking it when I was there. So I kind of just like followed in their footsteps a little bit. And I was like, oh yeah, like they kind of told me about some of the classes and stuff. And so I kind of chose that. Me and my roommate both actually chose it. So we have the same schedules pretty much every semester now, which is nice.
Nice.
As you went through your collegiate career, you had different roommates. Do you choose those roommates, or does a coach purposely put you with somebody?
Freshman year, you get put into the dorms with assigned roommates. So like Arvid Kadaroth was one of them, and then Carson Bantel was my other one, and then we just had a random fourth because we had like apartment style dorms. And then after that, it's kind of a free for all. Like you find out where you want to live. And so my sophomore year, I had 4 different roommates, and then last year I had 2 or 3 roommates from that same house went to our new house, and then this year I got 2, fresh new roommates because my one roommate got married, so then he moved out. One of them graduated, the other one got married, so he moved in with his wife now. And then my Swedish roommate, the big guy, he lives in a solo apartment because his girlfriend was coming for like half the year or something, just because she's like in between like college or she can work from home or something, I don't know. And they've obviously been apart for a long time, being in Sweden and the US. So she's like coming for longer stays, so he kind of wanted his own little place, which is right across the hallway from mine. So it's still like we're roommates.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I had 2 transfer roommates this year. And the one's no longer on the team, but the other one's from like Boston University. He's a great kid. Young guy, but he's great.
Wow.
Yeah.
He transferred from BU to play at Tech?
Yep.
Wow. Is he transitioned pretty good?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
Awesome.
So it's halfway through your senior year.
Yep.
So will you graduate at the end of the year then?
Yep. I got 3 classes left at Tech.
Okay. Any more eligibility, or
I have another full year of eligibility,
okay,
I believe, for COVID.
do you plan to take that, or what do you think the future holds for you right now?
Yeah, I don't really know. I would like to try to use it, but I mean, we'll see what other opportunities are available for me at the end of the year, or whether that's hockey, whether it's not hockey. I mean, I don't really know. I haven't really thought too far ahead about it, honestly.
Okay.
As dumb as that may sound, but I'm kind of just taking it day by day, seeing what happens and seeing what's available at the end of the year type of thing.
So after your playing career is done, let's say it's the NHL, let's say it's the AHL or Europe, whatever. Any thoughts about staying business oriented, like as a general manager, working in hockey ops, working as a coach, perhaps?
I've thought about that a little bit. I think coaching would be interesting. I just don't know if I'd want to, like, what level I want to do, because I don't know if I want to take the ridicule and all that. But if my team's not performing well, but I think it'd be cool to be an agent.
Yeah,
I think that'd be fun. And like obviously, like with finance stuff, I can think kind of like know contract stuff a little bit. I think you have to be a lawyer to deal with those, actually, like the highest level. But I think agent would be cool, or general manager would be cool, like where you get to make the moves and stuff. Yeah. But I don't know. That was something I kind of like think about, but I haven't really obviously put too much thought into it while I'm still playing.
Yeah, don't put the cart before the horse, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Michigan Tech has produced numerous NHL players. Do any of those guys, any of those alum players come back to Tech and visit you guys in the locker room at all?
Yeah, in the summer, they like when we're there in the summer, we have to be there for like 7 weeks or whatever it is for summer school. Some of them are back there and they skate with us. So like Tanner Caro, he played with Patrick Kane and the Blackhawks and stuff. So he'll come back and skate. I think he's in the AHL now. Joel Lesperance played NHL games. Like there's a bunch of like younger guys that I've played with at Tech that are like in the AHL or playing in the coast or overseas. Those guys will come back and skate for a while, which is cool. And then, I'm like John Scott was at the GLI last year, so he came out and skated with us in morning skate, which is pretty funny and fun. And he's a good guy. He was in the locker room talking for a while and stuff after practice. But I mean, he might be there again next week when we go. I don't know. But yeah, they kind of come back and work out. They obviously don't work out with us. They have a different time, but they work out, but they'll skate with us, which is pretty cool. Yeah.
That's a force stepping on the ice, John Scott.
Oh, yeah, he's a big boy.
He's a big boy.
He's a big dude.
Now, there's a battle you wouldn't want to have in the corner.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. And the way he played, definitely not.
You know, earlier we talked about the snowfalls in Houghton. In February, you have your annual Winter Carnival.
Yeah.
Tell our listeners who've never experienced a Michigan Tech Winter Carnival what that experience is like and what goes on.
Winter Carnival, I mean, it's pretty much just like a school party / celebration, I would say. You get, I think it's Wednesday night through the week off from school. It's just like they build these huge ice, like all the frats and sororities build these giant ice sculptures, snow sculpture things. And they have like judgments and stuff, and they're all over campus, and like all the actual clubs and stuff do it too. And then, I mean, our hockey games are obviously like one of the biggest draws for it. But then they also have like big broomball tournaments, like broomball all-star games. They're on like Wednesday night. So we'll go down and watch the broomball all-star games and stuff. And there's just a bunch of like random things that go on. I think like there's like skiing stuff and a bunch of like winter type activities. I mean, we don't really participate that much just because we play. And then like obviously like Saturday night afterwards, it's like a party. It's a big party for the school. I mean, but yeah, it's a great time. I would say it's kind of like it's like a celebration, but it's like the biggest celebration for the school. Like everyone looks forward to it and stuff. I would say it's like probably like bigger. It's bigger than homecoming for sure at our school, but it's like a homecoming for other schools, I would say, where it's like the school celebration type thing. But yeah, it's pretty cool.
Cool. Hopefully you get some snow and you can add to the sculptures and what have you.
Yeah, they ship the snow in and stuff though. I think they're in like giant blocks. They get like blocks and then they like carve it with chainsaws and melt it and all kinds of random stuff. Yeah. And there's way more snow up there than here, but I just don't know how much we truly have right now up there.
Okay.
Wow. All right. Being from Michigan Tech, obviously you're at almost the very tip of the UP. Oh, yeah. Are you flying or are you coaching coach bus to most of your games?
For our league, we're mainly riding the bus. We have a sleeper bus, so there's 20 beds on it. So as an upperclassman, you get one of the beds. Freshmen either have to double up, or if there is a bunk, or there's some chair at the front that they can usually sit in, because usually our coaching staff takes like a separate van to like school van or truck or whatever to the games, just because there's not a ton of room for them up in the front. Like, because then we got our equipment manager, our trainer, our like on-air guy, our hockey ops guy, like that stuff. So like they usually take a truck or a car as well. So usually there'll be like one coach on the bus, and then like our equipment guys and the other coaches will drive. So there's a lot of room. It's really nice for us. Like they're bunk beds, so you just like zip your thing shut and it's pitch black, and then I usually sleep in all the road trips. But that, and then we fly to like some of the farther ones. Like we flew to New York this year. We flew to like Arizona last year. Flew to the tournament, obviously, because that's NCAA funded. But most times we drive.
So do you ever go halfway and then pick it back up the next day and maybe get some ice somewhere? Yeah,
usually we do. Like whenever we go to Minnesota, we always stop in Duluth. We always end up practicing either at usually at the deck, actually, the back rink.
Okay.
Or AMS, I guess. But then we go like the next day, we'll practice there, or we'll get there around like dinner time. There's like an all-you-can-eat sushi place that like almost the whole team goes to. So we'll go there Wednesday night, and I think that's like a big attraction. Like that's part of the reason probably why we go there, because our coaches go there too. So we'll go there, and then we practice the next morning usually, and then we get back on the bus around lunchtime and go the rest of the way, whether it's to Mankato or Bemidji or St. Thomas or stuff like that.
Okay.
Are you a Bauer guy, CCM guy? What's your choice of equipment?
I got to be a CCM guy.
That's what they give you?
Yeah, that's what you get. I've sticks. I like CCMs, but I'll use pretty much anything. Skates, though, I used to be a Bauer guy. Then I went to CCM because my Bauers kept breaking in high school. And then I went back to Bauer for a while. And then recently I switched back to CCM, and I'll probably wear CCM the rest of the time I play. So I like the skates I got right now. I like the Jet Speed line for skates. So that's probably what I'll wear. I mean, everything else you just get given to you. So it's like, well, you don't get to choose whether you're wearing Bauer gloves or stuff like that. Skates are the only thing we really get a choice on. But I would say CCM is probably my favorite brand right now.
Choice.
Yeah.
Skate faster, jump higher.
There you go.
All right. So second half of the season coming up after Christmas break, you're going to really get into a lot of conference play. What's your outlook for Michigan Tech the rest of the season?
We play most of the teams in the conference at least once already. I think we're in third in the CCHA, but we're 3 points back of Bemidji, who's now in the lead. And they play 12 games and we play 10. So I think we have a great potential to win the league, regular season at least, and then go into playoffs. And I think that'd be the only way we can make the national tournament probably this year, is by winning the conference tournament. And I think we have a good shot. I feel like this is probably the most even the league's been since I've been at Tech. Usually it's like Mankato running everybody. And then the next couple teams are like all here, like pretty close with each other. And then this year, though, I think it's pretty much like anyone can beat anyone on any given night, more than it has been in the past. And so I think that bodes well for us.
It's more of a fun year, too.
Yeah.
I would think.
That. Yeah. I would say, especially with like Blake, like I think that bodes well for us.
Yeah.
Like if he gets hot, like I don't think anyone in the league can really beat us when he's at the top of his game.
Wow.
So just because he doesn't give up goals. But yeah, I would say it's looking pretty good for us, and especially like where we started at the beginning of the year to being like 1-5 or 1-6 or whatever we were to start to where we are now. I think we've grown a lot as a team, and I think our team's going to keep growing because we're a pretty young team. And I think that bodes well for us in the second half of the year. So
good luck.
Yeah, I was going to ask that question. You didn't start out as quickly as it was expected. So as a team, what happened in the locker room to change that atmosphere where you guys went from, like you said, 1-6, and now you're at 500, maybe even better than 500? Where was that turnaround?
I think it was kind of a lot of internal. We had a lot of obviously young guys. Like our D-core, we only had, I think, one guy who actually played a lot of college minutes, like had played more than like a college season, like of experience. We had a couple guys that like were freshmen. Another guy was a redshirt freshman technically. Another guy played like only a freshman year, and then we had one of our juniors only played this freshman year, and then like 5 games last year he got hurt. So we only had one guy that actually had like more than a year of experience on our D-core. So that, growing that way, and then we had a bunch of young guys, like freshmen coming in as well, forwards. And I think that it's just kind of one of those things where they weren't quite, they were ready, but like didn't know like quite what to expect. When we came out and played Duluth first game, and it was kind of like, oh, all right. And then like we've been building and building and getting better and better, and I think that's kind of a big part of it. And like I think we've had some, like our team's really close. And like I think like one of those things is like at the beginning of the year, like obviously everyone's kind of new besides the returning guys. So once that group gets getting closer and closer, you start building and playing better, I would say. And I think that's been a big part of it. And we just keep working and it's starting to work out more, obviously, than it did at the beginning. But
wow.
Nice.
Yeah, Blais, this has been a blast. Yeah, thanks for a lot of insight on Michigan Tech, your career, and go Huskies.
Yeah, good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, please don't forget to leave a little comment. Give us a shout out, tag us in your posts. Helps us keep us in the game. Moog?
Yeah, and a huge thank you again to Blais Richartz, our featured guest, and as well to our faithful listeners. And please remember our sponsors for this podcast: Riverside Bike and Skate, Chippewa Valley Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, Dooley's Pub, Raleigh's Coach Club, and Williams Diamond Center. As JC said, please follow us on your favorite social media platforms. And remember, folks, until next time, keep your head on a swivel and stay on your inside edges.